Not a good start for Dak Prescott yesterday. He threw 2 first-half interceptions in that 19-12 loss to the Niners last night. After the game, Jerry Jones, though, said he lost zero confidence in his quarterback. Take a listen.
Well, I thought this team with Dak at quarterback, I thought we had a chance to get to and compete at the top level in this tournament. I really did, and that was our edge here tonight.
All right, Shannon, will the Cowboys ever win another Super Bowl if they keep Dak at quarterback?
Well, they're not winning right now because right now, Skip, everything you do is based on hope. Man, I hope Dak plays well. I hope Dak doesn't turn the ball over. I hope Micah and that defense stand on their heads and give us an opportunity. Take the ball away, sack the quarterback, turnover. That's what we do. You can't win. You can't build a football team. You can't win games hoping. Kansas City goes into the game knowing Patrick Mahomes is going to play well. They go into the game, Joe Burrow, they go into the game, no, man, Joe B going to do that. You go into a game, you hope, you always preface that you believe in Dak, but you say, well, I hope he doesn't make mistakes. We had a 2-month stretch where that man turned the ball over at least once every single game. And in 3 of those games, he gave up pick 6. The opposing team's offense is on the sideline, and he gives them points. We saw that. And so now we're going to bypass that. We're going to look at Tampa, which has been a bad team all year long. He plays lights out against a team that can't rush the football, rush the passer.
Or both, but can't rush
the ball. They can't stop the run. They can't run the ball.
No.
And everybody's like, okay, this is the Dak that we know. So y'all disregard. Did you not see him the last game of the regular season against Washington? As great as he looked against Tampa, he looked worse against Washington than he did good against Tampa.
Yeah.
And yesterday, he reverted back. All week, what did Dak talk about, Skip? How he wanted the rematch. Most definitely I did. I think the whole team did. What did Michael say? Everybody said, no way the Cowboys are going to win. I think we should feed into it. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, come on. You got what you wanted. Jerry's already told you he liked the ratings. He's like, I don't care if y'all put me on Thursday Night Football. As long as I get them ratings, we play on the bright light, we good.
That is true.
Yesterday, Skip, Jerry said he used the word sick 7 times in a 2-minute span.
Yep.
He was sick, disappointed. Mm-hmm. But next year, we'll be right back here, the same kind of opportunity with Dak as the quarterback and get it. Remember, last year he was disappointed. This year he's sick. Jerry, you should be tired of being disappointed and sick. Mm-hmm. Like Eddie said, I'm sick and tired. I'm tired of being sick. I'm sick of being tired. Mm-hmm. Jerry, you should be you should be sick of being disappointed and being sick. You're not going nowhere. And I love it. Because I get tired of you come out here in the regular season beating on this table, breaking the table. We'd have had to replace 3 tables.
I have. I've broken this.
And I almost broke your hand.
I've broken my hand a couple of times, I think. I got fractures, little fractures.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, see?
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, we had a case of doing that thing, too, didn't we?
We had no.
Hold on, tell me.
The one saving grace of me yesterday, I put no due on it.
But we did have a couple. I don't want to get sidetracked because I want you to go. But we did have a case of due on Memphis. Because I was 100% sure we were going to beat Memphis. 100% because we got to go. And you saw what they did last night, too, right?
I did.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, talk about your sorry, pathetic Cowboys.
I saw what Schroeder did on Friday night. I saw what Schroeder and Thomas Bryant did last night.
Don't do that.
Okay, back to this. Unfortunately, I'm in a bad way today. So you can disqualify me if you will. But I am done with Dak Prescott.
Hold up.
I'm just done.
I'm talking about, hold up, that completely done. Like, okay, look, I'm going to cheer for him because he's my quarterback, but I no longer have the faith or the confidence in him that he can lead me to a championship.
He will never, ever win a Super Bowl for my Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
I have no choice. I'm stuck rooting for Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott because I have no choice because I sort of got born into it and I can't get it out of my soul.
And you can't fire the owner.
I cannot fire the owner. But I'm going to call BS on the owner and on the quarterback because the owner says he still believes in Dak and he thought going into this Super Bowl tournament we could play at the top level with Dak Prescott. I'm calling BS on that because what happened the day that he got taken to the cleaners and the bank by Dak Prescott and he sat right there at the media session and looked him right in the eye and said, I overpaid you. That's what Jerry believes. So he has to say all the right things about Dak Prescott, but I guarantee you, on the plane ride home last night, he's talking about, should we think about going in a different direction? But you're stuck because you paid him all that money, unless you want to try to trade him or try to start over, and you have to have a plan B. But I just don't.
You were traded for Lamar?
Yeah, trade him for Lamar. Maybe I'd do that. I would take Lamar over Dak any day of the week. Because Lamar is a baller. I don't ever sense that Dak's a baller. I think Dak is a fourth rounder who tries to convince everybody he's the fourth overall pick, because every once in a while he plays like the fourth overall pick.
Yes.
And I'll remind you of some games this year. Against Chicago, when he came back from injury, he came back against Detroit. But against Chicago, he went 21 of 27 for 250 with 2 touchdowns and just 1 pick. That was a QBR of 92. Well, Chicago's not very good on defense. And then at Minnesota, the Vikings aren't very good on defense. That's why Daniel Jones ate them up.
Yes.
And Dak up there goes 22 of 25 for 276 and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. I'll give him the Eagles game because I thought the Eagles were pretty good on defense, and he had a QBR of 87 in that game, threw for 347, 3 touchdowns, and only the 1 pick. But he threw a couple other balls that should have been picked.
Yes.
Okay, and put it on the carpet one time. And
Biotis got it. I don't know how.
And then, of course, capped off by the 97 QBR at Tampa, 25 of 33, 305. It was the game of his life, which led to the most devastating loss, Cowboy loss of my Cowboy-loving life. The point is, he is the quarterback of America's tease, not America's team, America's tease. And he is Captain Tease because he will just entice you and enthrall you and suck you in. And just when you want to trust him, you can't trust him. And then that happened yesterday. And the San Francisco game last year happened out of nowhere where he was awful in both those games.
When you're scoring less and less, at least you got 17 left. What'd you get? You got 16 last, 16, 17.
Yeah, 16 and
I think you had
12
16,
and 12 this year. This is just me. I don't believe Dak is on fire to go win a Super Bowl. I don't think Jerry Jones is on fire to go win a Super Bowl because they got it too good. Dak got his money, and he's got all his commercials. He's got the DirecTV Housewives, and he's got the Sleep Number, and they just play him over and over and over again.
I do believe Dak because he knows that it would change the trajectory of how he's viewed. Now, Jerry, Skip, is another animal because here's the thing. Jerry's going to get $300 to $500 million whether he gets to a Super Bowl or not. So what's the incentive for the win, Skip, if I do the same thing? So what's the incentive for me to show up on time, do my work, if I'm going to make the same amount of money, if not more, than doing all the things that I'm supposed to do?
If you'd never won one before, but he won 3 of them.
Right.
And he's got them on display in his office.
Well, sometimes when you win them, Skip, you think it's easy. Because if you think about it, in his first 6 years, he had 3 Super Bowls. And he lost the championship game in the other. So you think that's going to be easy. It's not. As he's finding out 27, 28 years later, it's not easy.
Okay, so what are we going to do? Fire Dak Prescott? Because we can't. And after the game, he always says all the right things.
Yeah.
So he said after the game, I know that's who I am. I'll respond in the right way. As I said, when we get this team aligned, the guys that we get back, coaches, will do what's necessary to be right back here and win the next time. Well, he says this every time. I'm just tired of hearing it.
Right.
Because it's just on a loop.
It's on repeat. Yep.
Right? And then he said, you can put it on my shoulders. When you play this position, when you play for this organization, you've got to accept that. That's the reality. As I said, I will get better because this will make me better. Well, I've heard this every year.
Yeah.
It's just year after year. You realize my team has now lost 7 straight divisional playoff games. That's the longest streak in the NFL. 7 straight, and he's responsible for 3 of those losses out of the 7.
Right.
What am I supposed to do with that? Is that his ceiling? Did he just hit his head on his ceiling again?
It might be, but Skip, but every time you win a game, what does Jerry say, Skip, after the win? I don't think I can dream any bigger than Sunday. This is deja vu. It reminds me of our first championship game. We went out to San Francisco, went out to play the 49ers. I just can't think about nothing else. The playbacks, Alvin Harper catching and running 90% of the field.
Wait, when did he say this?
After that, I think it was after the Tampa win.
After the Tampa win. Okay, well, that's why did I pick the score 30-20? Because that was the score of that game. I said Dallas 30-20. Let's go deja vu.
He said, I got it on Sunday. When we get it done on Sunday, I may roll my eyes in the back, and they may never get back around straight again. He keeps living in the past. Skip, that team, those guys aren't coming back. You got like 5 Hall of Famers, 6 Hall of Famers from that team, Skip. You ain't got 6 Hall of Famers on that team. Right now, you got 2, Zach Martin and Tyron Smith.
And I think they're getting up there in age.
Yeah. I mean, I thought they did a great job yesterday. They kind of neutralized Bosa. Armstead had an opportunity to sack Dak for a safety, and Dak spun up out of it. But, Skip, at some point in time, you can't think, and Michael Irvin is notorious for this, they won the game, he's like, they're never going to be the same. This is different. Once you get that taste of blood, it's different.
Okay.
No, it's not. That's not y'all. Y'all thought different. Jimmy had y'all in a different mindset. He had y'all in a different place because you knew Jimmy would trim the fat.
I agree.
They know Mike McCarthy ain't gonna do nothing because he can't.
Hey, I do not believe any Cowboys, starting with Dakota Prescott, I don't believe any of those players is afraid of losing. They're not afraid.
No.
I think Dak slept well last night. Again, did he want to win? Well, sure, he wanted to win. Is it the be-all and the end-all? Is he driven? Is he obsessed? Is he on fire with winning? I don't think so because he's got it too good. Everything, he's a made man. He is the quarterback of America's team. He's going to get the national TV commercials. He's a good guy. He presents himself well. All is well in his world. And by the way, they won a playoff game. Well, that made Mike McCarthy a made man, and it made
that
Dak.
brought him another year, though,
It
Skip.
did.
I just believe, Skip, there has to be a healthy level of respect for your coach, but there have to be a little fear.